Well, hey, folks. Hello, hello. It's good to see you once again. Did you know you've got broccoli in your teeth? Yeah, you do. And now you're reaching up, you're checking to see, do I have broccoli in my teeth? We're going to talk about that this morning. Broccoli in your teeth. You've got it. I've got it. We all have broccoli in our teeth. And I was inspired by this after reading a chapter out of Jeremy Kubicek and Steve Cochran's book called The Five Voices: How to Communicate Effectively with Everyone That You Lead. Great book for leaders. Okay, so if you don't have it, get it, got it, good. All right, go get it. But I was inspired by something here we're talking about, how we all tend to have broccoli in our teeth. Now, some of you may remember the emperor has no clothes, right? It's kind of an awareness that, look, sometimes we don't understand that we have broccoli in our teeth, but everybody else around us do. And they don't want to say anything about it because they're afraid of maybe embarrassing us, or maybe it might come across as something negative. See, we're not telling people you've got broccoli in your teeth. Now, broccoli in your teeth is a metaphor, okay? So just so you know, has nothing to do with broccoli in your teeth or my teeth right now. I actually even thought about, I want to go grab a chunk of broccoli and stick it in my teeth. I thought, how gross is that? Okay? I don't want to lose my followers. I don't want to lose you guys. I want to inspire and influence and impact you, that you can grow and become the very, very best version of you, and you can help others do the same. And that's what leadership is about. That's what influence is about. That's what self-awareness is about. And so you can become a better leader. And that's what this is about. This is broccoli in your teeth is all about self-awareness. Self-awareness. When you understand that you have certain tendencies that show up in the world, that show up in your marriage, that show up with your family, with your children, that show up in the community, that show up with your team members, when you have certain tendencies that can be more harmful than helpful. And when you know these things, then you can make some adjustments. You can do some certain things. You see, here's what we all have certain tendencies. Most of us are born with these tendencies. There's nature, there's nurture, and the choices we make, okay? Now, that's not from me. That's actually from this book that I've been reading, and it's an incredible book. But nature, nurture, and choices that affect us, that create the tendencies we show up in the world with. So when we talk about broccoli in the teeth, I want to read something to you real quick. Okay, so in order to be able to lead yourself, you got to know yourself well. You must know yourself in order to lead yourself. And when you can lead you, then you are better equipped to lead others. And that's what this is about. On this video, it's all, and the videos I do, it's all about personal growth and professional development. And that falls in the line of self-leadership as well as leading others. So we got to lead ourselves first. So here's what I want to read you. So the author writes here, says, had an example from a guy named Steve, right? And Steve, excuse me, popped out of the video for a moment. Steve said, an example from Steve. He said, once my wife said to me, Stephen, you have a tendency to go into social events. Now, as I read this, I want you to kind of reflect. I want you to kind of put yourself in the story and ask yourself, is this me? Is this me, or do I know somebody like this? And I'm going to give you the answer to that is absolutely yes. In some way, it's either you or somebody you know. And as an influencer and as a leader, you want not only for you to grow as a good leader and to lead your influence and an impact, you want to help others. That's what leaders do. We influence others to change and make the world a better place. Okay, so Stephen, you have a tendency to go into social events and look for the most interesting, attractive, exciting people. Anyone who can add to the sum of your knowledge and expertise and desire to master the world. And you spend all your time with them. If there's nobody like that in the room, you look around to see if you can provoke an argument just for the sheer joy of intellectual sparring. And if you can't find anyone to debate with, you either leave, fall asleep in the corner, or you get your phone out. That goes on and says, ouch, ouch. He said, that hurts, but it was true of me then. Some of you may have similar tendencies. I know I do. I know that I do. You see, that is what they call the broccoli in the teeth moment. I didn't realize I was doing it and therefore couldn't leave myself because of my lack of self-awareness. That tendency created an ingrained pattern of behavior that shaped my actions, but I didn't know it. And it had consequences that shaped my reality and reduced my influence. So here's the little truth, the little nugget of truth. Your tendencies do not go away, okay? They don't go away. You have tendencies. They don't go away. You still got those tendencies. But I know myself well enough to know I don't want to be defined by that pattern of behavior. So now I watch myself. I hear myself. I recognize that I have a tendency. But here's what I know. How many of you go to a restaurant and you've eaten a great dinner and it happened to have broccoli? You have broccoli in it. If you like broccoli, if you don't like broccoli, then pick your food because our teeth collect it. You don't know you've got it until one, somebody points it out to you, or two, you go to the restroom, you look in the mirror, and boom, you've got green specks all in between your teeth. And you've been carrying on a conversation with someone for a while. They've seen it. They've seen it. But how many of us would actually say, hey, you got a little broccoli in your teeth? Yeah, I might want to take care of that. How many of us would actually do that? I have done that because I want to help the person save some face. I want to help them save themselves, but from an embarrassing moment, because most people will not say something. They'll just let it go. But you notice it when you go in and you look in the mirror and there's this. Oh my goodness, right? What are you going to do? You see, you don't know you had that until it's either pointed out to you or you see it in the reflection. And that's why it's important. And I love to use the mirror as an example of reflection, because you don't know you until you reflect on you. What does it look like? What do I look like on the other side of me? What do I sound like on the other side of me? You see, when I do these videos and I go back and I look at them, and I evaluate them, I critique them, and sometimes I even learn from them. But I go back and I don't realize the way that I come across. I don't realize the sound. I don't realize that sometimes my words are either repetitive, or maybe I used a word that I shouldn't have used. I should have used a different word. Or maybe I used a word that doesn't even relate to what I'm saying. I don't know that in the moment until I go back and I reflect on it. If I had somebody with me having a conversation, they could point that out to me if they're willing to do so. And that would help me and them. But you don't know that. So the whole time I look, and what I see is I see broccoli in my teeth. I could have done something better, could have said something different. The way I come across, my actions, my activities, my behavior are all tendencies that were formed in my nature, nurture, and decisions, the choices I've made in life. Now, you can't change your tendencies. They say, oh, yes, I can. A tendency is that natural desire to respond or react in a certain way, the naturalness of it. But if you know that you're not making a connection because your tendencies are hurting you more than they're helping you, then you can have an awareness. Now that I know I have broccoli in my teeth, I need to check my teeth before I get back out there, before I go back out and communicate and connect. Now that I know. And now that you know, you say, okay, I have these tendencies. Who is going to share with me what my tendencies are? Do you have somebody like that in your life that you can trust, that will be honest with you, that can be honest with you, but to help you, that they love you enough to help you, not to hurt you, not to harm you, not to cause you embarrassment? not to belittle you. Do you have that person that will tell you, hey, Jay, you got broccoli in your teeth, buddy? The broccoli is a tendency that we have. Okay, that's a metaphor for tendencies that we possess that we don't realize we have until somebody comes and points it out to us. Now, self-awareness is huge. You must be self-aware of these tendencies if you are truly to become an influencer, an intentional influencer. And by doing that, if you want to truly influence and add value and help people change their life, help the world become a better world, you've got to be willing to have someone else point out, you've got broccoli in your teeth. You've got to have that person identified already. Who is that person in your life? For me, it's my wife. For my wife. If you're married, your spouse should be is actually the best person to tell you, say, sweetheart, you have these tendencies, and they're not helping. They're not working. These are the tendencies. And learn how to, now here's what I want to tell you. If you're going to be the person pointing out the broccoli, you need to learn how to connect and communicate that in such a way where it is receptive. Okay? Receptive. Don't just come across somebody that has a sensitivity about them and say, you know what? When you do this, it sucks. When you do this, you're not reaching people. When you do this, it annoys the heck out of me. There's a way to communicate and connect that. And that's one thing that I can help you with. In the marriage arena, that's one thing Katrina can help you with. She has these programs in there. That's what we can help you with. If you're having a problem connecting with people and being able to gain that trust with them, gain that relationship where you actually have earned that position, that privilege of pointing out when somebody has broccoli in their teeth. If you're having trouble with that, that's what we can help you with, how to connect with folks. So if you've got broccoli in your teeth, learn this. If somebody points it out, from now on you have, okay, I tend to do this in these situations, and it's not helpful. It's more hurtful to me and to others. Then I need to step back. I need to reflect, get your mirror, look for the broccoli in the teeth, and then approach it in a more receptive way, in a more collaborative way, in a more cooperative way. That's what influencers do. So do you have broccoli in your teeth? That's the question I want to ask you. We all do. We all have those tendencies. Broccoli in the teeth equates to tendencies, okay? So if you're coming in on this late and you're hearing me talk about broccoli in your teeth, it's a metaphor for tendencies that we all possess. And I gained that, once again, like I said, from this book here. If you don't have it, get it. All right? Get it. You got it? Good. So what is the broccoli in your teeth? What's the tendencies you tend to do? You know, one thing that I have a tendency to do that I've learned I had to step back is sometimes I will give free advice and suggestions to people that truly don't want it. They don't want it. But I see where I could help them. I could help them and encourage them in something and point out. But I've had to learn that the broccoli in my teeth is that sometimes I give that and people don't really want that. They're not ready for that. Maybe they want it, but not now. Maybe they want it, but not from me. Maybe somebody else needs to communicate with them. That's my broccoli in my teeth. I tend to jump in thinking I can help somebody navigate and think through. While I get paid to be a coach, sometimes I'm coaching for free, unsolicited. That's my broccoli in my teeth. I've learned I've had to step back and I've had to evaluate, is this the right time to share a bit of experience or a bit of wisdom or a bit of direction and guidance? Is this the right time? And is this the right person to invest that information and that resource with? We say we should be open to help everybody. Open to help everybody, yes. but we shouldn't always have our doors open to invite everybody in, because not everybody has the best intentions. And sometimes they don't want to invite you in, and you're knocking at the door yelling, hey, if you do this, this will really help. If you let me in, I can really. No, I've had to learn to step back, because some people don't want help. And so what is the broccoli in your teeth? Do you have a self-awareness of that? And if not, maybe it's time to ask somebody you can truly trust to share with you, hey, what are my tendencies that are more hurtful than helpful? Now, I can promise you this, my friends, when you know that and you are intentional about doing the reflection, intentional about the self-awareness, always be self-aware. How am I showing up? What does it look like on the other side of me? What does it sound like to be on the other side of me? What does it feel like to be on the other side of me? The only way to know that is by reflection and by someone else coming in and sharing with you that you can trust, that has your best interest at heart, that wants you to succeed, and can be absolutely honest with you. Do you have that person? All right, my friends. I've got comments up here. I see my good friend, Javier. Javier, it's good to see you, my friend. Thank you. Yeah, I got that from that book. If you saw the book up there, get that. It's an amazing book, great book. My daughter Alicia, my sweet girl. We'll see. Good morning, Dad. Sound is coming across a little weird. Might be on my end, but just in case, I can still hear it. Okay. And it might be on my end. I'll know on the playback. I love that you will stop a complete stranger and give them a heads up that they have broccoli in their teeth or a similar situation. One day I hope to be comfortable and confident enough to do that. Well, I do feel comfortable because I really want to help people. But that is my broccoli in my teeth, realizing that sometimes I will help and step in when it's not the right time. I'm not the right person. They're not in the right mindset to receive that. I have to step back. But the good thing is when you learn how to connect with people and have that awareness of where they are, then you know when and how and if you are the person to actually make that connection. That's the good thing. But sometimes there's broccoli in my teeth and I make a mistake on that. Just as you will, as all of you will, as an influencer. You have people in your life that you are adding value or you're influencing in some way. You're going to have those tendencies. So, all right, my friends, that's what I got for you today. Hope I was able to serve you. Hope you are going to do some reflection. Go and look in the mirror. Find out, look, see what are my tendencies that tend to be more hurtful than helpful. Ask somebody, what is the broccoli in my teeth? Let me know before I go back out there and I embarrass myself or I cause harm with somebody. What is the broccoli in my teeth? What are my tendencies that I need to adjust? Just a funny story real quick. I have a tendency sometimes when I'm thinking about things, I'll start making sound effects. I'll be thinking, I'll either toss a ball up in the air or sometimes I'm just thinking. And Katrina, she likes absolute quiet when she's focused on stuff. Me, I have a tendency, I need sound. I love sound in the background, right? But we have those tendencies. And if I don't have sound in the background and we're working together, I create sound. I'll start tapping on my cheeks, make, I'll be boom, boom, whatever. I just make noise. I make sound because I like sound. It helps me think. That's what works for me. That's my tendency. But now that I know that's the tendency that is causing more harm to her, and when I say harm, I mean emotional distraction, things like that, then I know I need to reel it in. What are some other things I can do that satisfy both of us? Well, I've got earbuds. I get my old earbuds out and I stick them in my ear and I listen to music. I listen to a podcast. I listen to other things because then I have that and she doesn't hear it. So when she points that out to me, now I can do something about that. But if I don't know about it, I'll continue to irritate the heck out of her, distract her. She won't get to do what she needs to do, and I'll just be going happy little long thing, everything's fine. No, that's not always the case. In a marriage, it's important that you have an ability to point out the broccoli in each other's teeth and to be receptive to hear that. All right, my friends. All right, one more time. Let's see, Cliff. Good morning, Cliff. It's good to see you, my friend. You were raised by your dad to look to the solution and not the problem. I have to learn to let people vent rather than fix the problem, especially family. And you're exactly right. You know, that's the one thing that I learned is that sometimes we want to be solution focused, but we're not always the person that should be providing a solution, unless it is requested. If it is requested and we have their trust and they have they trust us, then we can share that. And how you communicate that is vital as well. Vital as well. If you know your personality and your tendency styles, if you know that, then you know that I need to approach this according to their style. And that's where the DISC comes in. That's like you see up there, the little thing there. That's the Maxwell DISC Method logo. That's what that really helps come out. You identify your personality style, communication style, theirs, and both the private, the public, and the more reflective type. You know, who I am, who I want to be, who I look like I am, and all those. But that's huge. And we always want to help our family. Sometimes our family don't want to hear it. We got to step back. Sometimes you have to let people learn for themselves as well. Even though we have solutions, they have to be ready for those solutions. They have to be wanting that solution. Sometimes people have to hurt so bad before they're willing to put a Band-Aid on a scratch, before the scratch becomes infected. Sometimes people do that. But sometimes people just won't even bother with that. They'll just let it get infected and the whole arm falls off. And then they'll say, you know, I wish I would have put a Band-Aid on some antiseptic on that before it got infected. That's the way some people are. You can have the Band-Aids. You can have it ready. Sometimes people just aren't ready. All right, friends. God bless every single one of you. We'll see you next time, okay? Stay tuned. We got more coming to you. Bye-bye.